In 1985, Michael J. Fox drove a DeLorean 88 miles an hour straight into Hollywood history.
I'm from the future.
Back to the Future was the biggest film of the year, electrifying audiences with an irresistible mix of sci-fi and comedy.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
25 years later, EW reunited the cast for an unforgettable reunion.
I mean, being with the car was great. It's more fun being with Lea.
Action!
Live on set.
When I kiss you, it's like I'm kissing my brother.
It's great to see Michael. I just can't believe it's been 25 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a thrill for me because I didn't actually get to shoot in the car. I kind of saw it in the background. I didn't get to be in it. I'm a little bitter, but that's okay.
The car, I mean, I just remember all the things with the car, like I smashing my head on the door and hitting my knee on the flux capacitor. And it looks good.
The story of Back to the Future began with a hilarious but hard-to-sell script written by Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis.
It's hard to imagine a script like Back to the Future not immediately clicking in Hollywood.
They shopped around a lot in the early 80s. Not a lot of people were biting, not necessarily a traditional movie that you would expect to see made about a kid who has to go back in time to make sure his parents fall in love.
I have a feeling about you too.
And anyone in Hollywood will tell you the way to make a movie is to make another movie that's successful before it.
Luckily, Robert Zemeckis had a huge hit with Romancing the Stone, and after that happened, Hollywood was like, oh, okay, we'll take a look at this Back to the Future script.
The project was up and running. Spielberg would produce, Zemeckis would direct. Next, they needed their time-traveling teenager, Marty McFly.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a DeLorean?
From the beginning, Zemeckis wanted Michael J. Fox, who was already a household name as Alex P. Keaton in the hit sitcom Family Ties.
Alex, do you want to spend the night here?
No, that's okay. I live real close, 10 minutes.
Michael J. Fox, who was a huge TV star at the time, was the filmmaker's first choice from the very beginning for Marty McFly, but because of his TV schedule, he couldn't do it.
So Eric Stoltz was cast as Marty McFly and filmed for about 4 or 5 weeks. There's some weird footage on the internet if you can find it. Ultimately, Zemeckis and the producers decided that Stoltz wasn't right and went to go back and try to get Fox.
Whoa, this is heavy.
So there are actually 3 months where Michael J. Fox was going back and forth between Family Ties and Back to the Future.
Casting Fox's cross-generational co-star wasn't easy. Zemeckis needed someone who could play Marty's mother Lorraine as both a boy-crazy teen
You can sleep in my room.
I gotta go. I gotta go.
and a middle-aged housewife.
We all make mistakes in life, children.
It's a peculiar movie for me to be famous for because of the fact that I spent half the movie aged to the age that I am right now. So people do still really recognize me, and it's interesting.
When I was your age, I never chased a boy or called a boy or sat in a parked car with a boy.
One of my daughters said, they got the age makeup right, especially in the jowls. I was like, I'm gonna kill you.
Lea Thompson had a few notable film roles, including All the Right Moves with Tom Cruise,
I need you, Lise.
Well, I need you too sometimes, you know?
and Red Dawn.
You American?
But this was next level for her.
It pretty much still is my middle name. I mean, I had Caroline in the City as a middle name for a little while.
I knew I shouldn't have worn color. I feel like Kermit the Frog.
But now it's Back to the Future, so I'm happy that I moved that.
You want me to make a donation to the Coast Guard Youth Auxiliary?
Doc. I'm from the future.
The role of Marty's mad scientist friend Doc Brown went to Christopher Lloyd, just 2 years removed from his Emmy-winning stint on Taxi.
It's written in some strange language unknown on this planet.
Jim.
The real soul of Back to the Future is kind of that dynamic between Doc and Marty, Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox. It's that witty back and forth of just kind of harebrained and frantic and also just trying to figure out how to get out of this mess.
Let me show you my plan for sending you home. Please excuse the crudity of this model. I didn't have time to build it to scale or to paint it. It's good. Oh, thank you.
21-year-old Crispin Glover played Marty's father, the nerdy George McFly.
Lou, give me a milk. Chocolate.
Crispin Glover and Michael J. Fox had this great chemistry, and in fact, they had actually already worked together on an episode of Family Ties.
Alex, that's Colonel Keaton. I'm sorry, Colonel Keaton, I mean. What is it? Your mother's here.
Rounding out the cast was Thomas F. Wilson as Biff, the school bully.
Hey, I'm talking to you, McFly, you Irish bug.
Thomas F. Wilson really wasn't known at the time, so this was a huge opportunity for him.
He really embodied Biff and like what the quintessential, 80s movie bully would look like.
Biff, stop it! Biff, you'll break his arm!
Back to the Future premiered on July 4th weekend, and it was an instant blockbuster. The summer smash brought in $380 million at the box office and became the highest-grossing movie of 1985.
It is so hard to pin down. It's a comedy, it's a romance, action, adventure, a science fiction movie, all these different things. It's really applicable for people of all ages.
It was that chemistry between Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox. It was the DeLorean, the time travel, all just kind of came together to make something that people really hadn't seen before.
What I get is people want to talk about the space-time continuum and stuff, and I'm like, dude, I was just in the movie. I don't know, like about forks and I don't know. But people wanted to have conversations with me about it, and I was like, we can talk about the movie, but I have no idea about it. And there are people who know the movie better than I do.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ah! Where are my pants?
Over there? On my hope chest?
That bedroom scene was just great. The first scene.
Funny scene.
In 1985, Back to the Future became a pop culture phenomenon.
It was everything it was meant to be, and it just is so uncontroversial and just fun.
It was controversial. I was trying to, make out with my own son.
Marty, I'm almost 18 years old. It's not like I've never parked before.
What?
And that
Oh,
was
that's
very...
stuff, but that's about people. I love that.
Why are you so nervous?
That bedroom scene was just great. The first scene.
Funny scene.
I've never seen purple underwear before, Calvin.
Calvin, why do you keep calling me Calvin?
Well, that is your name, isn't it? Calvin Klein? It's written all over your underwear.
Like all that stumbling around that I did originated, like that was a direct reaction to the pressure she was putting on me with the eyes and the intention and the intensity of what she was doing. It was just great. I mean, it's so fun to work with someone that good and someone who puts you on the spot that way as a character.
Ah! Where are my pants?
Over there? On my hope chest?
You're a genius with physical comedy. I remember just watching you and trying to learn. Falling off stools.
It's just complete awkwardness. It's just a klutz.
The wildly popular film was also a hit with critics, earning 4 Oscar nominations, including one for Best Screenplay.
When I watch Back to the Future, what really strikes me is the detail and the thought that Zemeckis and Gale put into that script. Everything has payoffs and setups, and you see things like clocks going off the wrong time, just hinting at time travel, and the subtle changes between the two different timelines. It just, makes my brain excited.
Re-elect Mayor Goldie Wilson. Progress is his middle name.
I can't really think of any other movie that has this many iconic scenes. Just so many. This movie is wall-to-wall big moments.
One of the great sequences in Back to the Future is a skateboarding sequence through Hill Valley. A lot of fun. Michael J. Fox holding on to cars while he's riding on the skateboard.
You take a look at the arc of the whole series and you see these echoes and fun little callbacks. Like, for instance, the skateboard in the first one becomes the hoverboard in the second. It's things like that that really make this series kind of memorable and stand out.
The thing that I remember was in the hoverboard stuff. I knew that the upshot would be I'd have another piece of metal rammed up my ass and like some kind of hinge thing, and people thought the hoverboard was real, but I was swung from cranes, and I can tell you it wasn't real.
A lot of people, one of their favorite scenes is at the end, at the Under the Sea dance, and Michael J. Fox plays Johnny B. Good on guitar.
Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
I think that scene is really authentic and so well done, partially because Michael J. Fox actually plays guitar and was able to kind of really sell that moment.
It all culminates in that clock tower scene, which everybody knows, and there's this big race against literally the clock and this bolt of lightning that we know is coming. And I think I even still cringe a little bit when that wire does disconnect and Doc has the zip line down. It's just, it comes together so perfectly at the end.
It's quite remarkable, really, that it still endures. I mean, I knew it was a great movie. I knew it was beautifully crafted and expertly cast, of course. I think there's a lot of heart in the movie, and that's why it sustains itself.
Marty, will we ever see you again?
I guarantee it.
Of course, the movie ends with the most perfect timeline for Marty. The truck is fixed, his parents are successes.
Mr. McFly! Mr. McFly, you just arrived. Oh, hi, Marty. I think it's your new book.
Like I've always told you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
It's just this perfect, really nice cap on this really delightful movie.
It's cross-generational. I mean, it's become kind of like, I mean, not to, I don't want to be sacrilegious or anything, but in its own way, and maybe a small way, it's kind of become like Wizard of Oz or something. It's something that kids love and don't think about when it was made. Don't think of it as an old movie.
Even though we kind of got the future a little bit wrong.
Yeah. Well, we thought about faxes, we didn't think of the internet. It was just a blast, you know, it was just a smile. And it's really great to be associated with something like that. That's something that just gives people pleasure, and it's, I mean, what a privilege that is.
I'm getting verklempt here.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.